Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Star Wars Out of the Box with me, Dill Streep. Each time I'm going to open up this old crate of Star Wars toys, books, memorabilia, grab one, talk about it, what it means to me, its place in Star Wars, and just give it a little review. Let's see what's in the box. It's the Star Wars Micro Machines Transforming Playset, Darth Vader. Right, this is the Star Wars Micro Machines Darth Vader Transforming Playset. But before we get to that, when I opened up the box for this one, I found a very exciting notice. Join the Star Wars Fan Club. For only $9.95, you can join the official Star Wars Fan Club. Membership includes the Star Wars Insider, the quarterly magazine packed with Star Wars photos, interviews, and articles. 1-year subscription. The Jawa Trader, the official catalogue of Star Wars and Indiana Jones collectibles inserted in every Star Wars Insider. And exclusive membership kit loaded with collectibles for members only. Then there's a little bit you cut out. I guess this is before just signing up with an email. Yes, I want to join the official Star Wars Fan Club. Membership for 1 year. To join by Visa or MasterCard, only call 1-800-TRUE-FAN. Which I really like, and I'd be very interested to see if that somehow still exists. I doubt it, but it is quite an exciting relic to still have. Back to the set though. This scene can be found in 1980's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, aka the greatest sequel ever made. So, as we open the head, you'll see it's depicting a scene from Bespin, and we flip open a little landing pad over there. As with all of these heads, they come with a number of characters and ships. In this case, we've got Lando, this deal's getting worse all the time, Calrissian. We've got a Stormtrooper. We've got a little bonus one here with Chewbacca and C-3PO in pieces on his back after the Ugnaughts have scrapped him and started playing Wookiee in the middle. Speaking of Ugnaughts, we've got one here to manage the controls of the carbon freezing chamber. And then I would say this set's greatest strength is that it gives us both Luke Skywalker, lightsaber drawn, and Darth Vader looking cool. The ship that came with this set is Boba Fett's Slave One, or as they're now calling it, the Firespray gunship. You'll notice that Boba Fett is nowhere to be seen. This is probably down to the fact that, unlike most of these playsets, this one really needs to be a companion to the Boba Fett Cloud City head. Fortunately, I do have that one somewhere in the box, and we'll get to it soon. On the negative side, I always felt, even as a kid, when you look at this set close up, that they've not quite got something right with Darth Vader's helmet. I always thought it looked like he had a mullet, and as scary as mullets are, I'm not sure that's what they were going for. In terms of the set, there aren't that many features. As I mentioned, you've got the carbon freezing chamber, which is quite cool. If you turn this little device here, you'll see that a carbonite slab comes up. This is definitely the Han frozen in carbonite, which you can tell by his signature hands halfway up, kind of by your shoulders stance. What's quite neat is that if you have a Han Solo figure from another set, you can place him on the little platform in front, masking the fact that there's anything there. Have it go down, and then have it come back up, and as if he's been placed in carbonite. You also have Lando pleading with Vader. This was never part of the deal, nor was giving Han to that bounty hunter. I've altered the deal, pray I don't alter it any further. Then the best feature I would say is up here with the Luke slowly moving through the passages trying to find Vader scene. So you can place Luke at the top in the window there. You can place Vader near him, and after a bit of thrashing back and forth, Vader starts tossing debris at him with the Force. There's a little lever on the back here that you can turn and wiggle around and then fire him out of the window. This is where having the Boba Fett playset would come in handy, because after firing him out of that window, it would move directly to a scene from that set. I think what I liked about the set is that it gave you Luke with his lightsaber out in an interesting stance. It gave you a standalone stormtrooper, so you could build up a little squadron of them over a number of sets. And then the Slave One had the very accurate moving wings that would kind of go from vertical to horizontal depending how the ship was flying or landing. I actually have a number of Slave Ones, or Slaves One, in Micro Machine form, in Lego form, as you can see, in steel model, and at some point I'll be doing special comparison videos where I look at all the different versions of a character or ship that I have, put them on the table, compare them, and probably rate them too. I think it's time for this episode's special scene. Thanks for sticking around this far. Enjoy.
Lord Vader, We only use this facility for carbon freezing. You put him in there, it might kill him.
I do not want the Emperor's prize damaged. We will test it on Captain Solo.
If only you'd attached my legs, I wouldn't be in this ridiculous position.
Stop! What are you doing? Stop!
Get stop! Kill me! Yes, stop, please! I'm not ready to die!
The princess, you have to take care of her.
I love you.
I know.
Oh, they've encased him in carbonite. He should be quite well protected. If he survived the freezing process, that is.
When I do get to the Boba Fett playset, I'll be able to show you the stop frame animation that I made many years ago that combines these two sets into the Cloud City scene. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications, and why not drop a comment about some of the sets that you might have had growing up. Until next time, for Star Wars Out of the Box, I'm Dill Streep. Goodbye. Fire. Speaking of Ugnaughts, we've got one here to manage the controls. Speaking of Ugnaughts, we've got one to manage... Speaking of Ugnaughts, there's one to manage the controls of the carbon cheese... This is probably down to the fact that unlike most of these little... This is probably down to the fact that most... This is probably down to the fact that unlike... This is probably most down to the actual... Have it go down. Oh, for f***'s sake.